Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube tech guy. Hey guys, so sorry for all of the delays and technical issues. It's just been my CPU is at 100%, which has happened in the past before, but now my internet's having issues. It actually stopped working while I was setting up, and obviously it's in the middle of a heat wave too, so I got all these fans on. Hopefully not too loud though. I turned them all down. But I just wanted to say I do apologize for all of the issues. And again, I am saving up to get a better computer later this year. And yeah, it's just hopefully will happen for sure. All right, let's get to it. So the Galaxy Fold is becoming very popular. And so popular though that Samsung is actually planning 2 more before or at the same time of the Z Flip or the Galaxy Fold 3. So sorry it's still loading and lagging. Hopefully it's not too much of a stutter issue, guys. Let me know how the internet is. I think it's going to be having a stuttering issue. Hopefully it'll be okay, and should be okay in the playback hopefully afterward. So in terms of the actual new devices, there is a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold S and a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 Lite. So the Lite is apparently a more affordable device, and by affordable in the phone realm for foldables, we mean closer to about $900 to $1,100. So again, still pretty pricey, but it's pretty cool in terms of actually getting a foldable at that price from Samsung. Now, the Z Fold S is a pretty interesting one because it's said to be similar to a foldable like the Microsoft Surface, which isn't a true foldable. So the Surface Duo is 2 screens that are separate, entirely separate. And the difference of having that is obviously quite substantial. You're not split screening apps, you actually have 2 apps on different sets. But supposedly the Surface Duo, the exciting part about that is that it's supposed to have really good software to split the 2 up. Now this wasn't something that I think LG implemented as well. They just really kind of made it 2 separate screens. I did not use the dual screens this year, I did use them last year, and that was the difference for it. In terms of it though, we also have a really interesting factor that unlike the Surface Duo, it will still have a 360 hinge, meaning you can open it like this, but instead of it having 2 screens, it is only going to have 1. How will that work when you go like this? Meaning a screen on each side is something very interesting to have 1 screen. But that is apparently what they are working on right now, is called the Z Fold S, meaning that it can actually flip in and out. So let me know what you think about that, guys. In terms of it, I'm pretty interested to see how that would work. My guess is it would be something like the Moto actually, where the Moto actually had like a gap that it went in and out to create their hinge. The screen would go in and out. So possibly something like that to be able to get the 360 hinge to work. It seems like such an engineering feat that I would be interested to see if we would be able to do it. So very curious to see how it will do. Okay, then we also have news of, again, the Z Fold 2 Lite, which as of right now, it looks like it will be, again, closer to a mid-range device. These are the specs that are expected to be it. And mainly, instead of the Fold having the big screen on the front, it's supposedly going to be closer to a display kind of like the Z Flip, it seems like. Like the front screen isn't going to be too big. Or maybe closer to the screen we had on the Fold 1. But in this one, you're still going to have a 7.2-inch display. You're still going to have 256 gigs of storage. And again, the expectation is for anywhere between 900 and 1,100 is the latest rumor. There was something going around that it would be 1,400, which really didn't seem obviously that great. But yeah, it's just kind of the thing forward for sure. So yeah, so that's kind of just some of the stuff going on with it. And in big news, and this is why I think Samsung is leaning towards these folds. So these folds are obviously a huge profit margin for Samsung. I mean, probably I would say they definitely don't cost more than like 800 to probably make in terms of parts and labor and everything like that. But the biggest thing for Samsung is obviously they're charging like $2,000 for it. And it's selling. This one is expected to sell double what the last year's model did. So the last year's Fold, they made 400,000 of them. However, in that 400,000, as you know, not all of them really sold, and like some were like sent and purchased for not selling by the Escobar company and all that kind of stuff. So there definitely was issues for sure. Then you got also the Galaxy Z Fold 2, which is expected to double that in terms of actually being sold. So as of right now, they're planning on making up to 800,000. They are open to making more of those if it can, but yeah, it's a really big difference of it in terms of how will it go with this price range. Like how will it really sell at this price range? Is anyone in the chat planning on getting a Z Fold 2? I'm just curious. Obviously, I'm getting it because of the channel, because of all that. I am purchasing it myself. I'm trading in my S20 Plus in order to get this, and I'm actually sacrificing my Note for it. So I'm giving my Note to my wife. So yeah, it's a whole thing for me that it's really, we'll see how it goes. All right. And then we have this news that really kind of, again, reminds me of what I had previously said, and that is that really, when it comes to Android updates, do not buy into the hype that they're important. Do not buy into the hype of tech reviewers saying like, oh, but are they going to get Android updates for the next 2 or 3 years? Who cares? Who cares? This is why. If you've had a Samsung phone since the Galaxy S5, you've had kids mode. Every phone, every tablet since then from Samsung has had kids mode. They created it a long time ago. It works great. It's worked fine. It's improved steadily over the years, but not too much. Android is finally putting kids mode on Android tablets. That is such a dated thing. It looks good. It looks like a clean UI. It looks very similar to everything else that's been out there from Samsung, from LG, from Huawei. All the different kids modes that have come out over the years is there. But again, it's just like, it's just interesting in terms of that. Like, really, like, to allow it to go on for so long without happening and then Google finally doing it, it's just like, this is why I never, ever, ever give credence to, oh, but how long is it going to get Android updates for? No one cares. Get security updates, and that's all you need. You do not need Android updates, because Android updates are so far behind OEMs like Samsung and like LG, and in some cases even like Huawei, OnePlus, all these other ones that are now catching up. It really is just a better overall design. Sorry, just closing some of the tabs to hopefully help the processor, as it stayed at 100% this entire time. Okay. This was a bit of a real sucky situation. Unfortunately, HTC's CEO, the one that said that he would get the company back to where it was, is gone. So that kind of sucks. It really is just like he was there, and he was there for less than a year, and he left. The lady who was the CEO before, Sher Wang, is now going to take back over. Obviously, that's not good because she's taken over since the decline of HTC. From 2015 to 2019 is when she was CEO, and that was pretty much the entire decline of HTC. So, yeah, not the best person to take back over, but it really does suck, and that is what happened. So yeah, it sucks because, you know, a lot of people I think have fond memories of HTC. For a lot of people, that might have been your first Android device. And I remember it was the first tablet that I gave to my wife. Like, it was, I think it was like our 6-month anniversary, and I gave her the HTC Flyer, I think it was called. It was their, like, I think it was their only tablet. Maybe they had another one after, but it was a 7-inch tablet with a pen. So really cool concept and all that kind of stuff. It was still peak HTC. It looked like a big Evo. So yeah, it was just really sucks. It's you know, he is the main hardware manufacturer for Pixel phones. So a lot of people don't know that. That was the big purchase that Google made of HTC a couple years back, was so that basically it contracted them to make a lot of the Pixel hardware. Of course, the biggest part about the Pixel is software, so the hardware just has to be good enough. All right, then a very interesting thing just happened this week that I want to know more about. I'm gonna reach out to LG again to see if we can actually review this one, because this is a MediaTek version of the LG Velvet, which is kind of interesting. It really is. So this basically is supposed to replace the Snapdragon 756 or 65, I forget which one it is, that's in the LG Velvet for other carriers. This also makes it cheaper. I believe this one starts at, what was it, $699? So yes, it used to be the 765 processor. I forgot, if someone could look up the T-Mobile LG Velvet, what the price is. There it goes. So $588. $588 is the price. It's going to launch on the 10th. And that's the standard price. You can still do a trade-in and get it cheaper. But I just think this is a really interesting thing. I think it would be better, obviously, if they bundled it with the second display. I think really the second display should be given for free. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes overall when it comes to this device. But MediaTek has not really made this big of a phone. Like, MediaTek is kind of generally in the 500 and under price range. They're very big with like Xiaomi phones. They're huge with those. Redmi phones are all MediaTek. Like, there are a lot of big MediaTek people out there overseas and under 500, but never really above this price range. So I'm very curious to see how it will go. Okay, OnePlus is apparently bringing the OnePlus 8T. It's going to have a 120 Hz display, Android 11, and it's supposed to debut in October. So that is around the time we typically get the T series. I just wonder if they're going to do anything else. I think overall, I don't know if the 8s were really that good for OnePlus this year. The Nord is the one that everyone talked about, and the Nord got OnePlus back in the conversation. But I don't think anyone really talked about the OnePlus 8 like a month later. Like, it just wasn't that as interesting, I guess, in terms of it. And I really felt like they kind of undercut the 8 and really made it all about the 8 Pro. So really will be interesting what they do with the 8T. I also believe they no longer have a deal with McLaren. So this is something new for them if they do like an 8T Pro. It could be another partnership that they never had before. But McLaren, that papaya orange style and design, I love. I still love the quality of my OnePlus 7T McLaren. That one was really good, and very interested to see how that goes. Okay, and then we have new tablets from TCL that are pretty interesting. So these are budget-minded tablets. You have the Tab Mid, I guess for mid-range tablet, and the Tab Max. And really the whole idea behind these tablets is kind of giving you great screen, great quality for the price point. So I'm very interested to see how these tablets do. The Max also has a pen, which is always good to have. These are 4G tablets, not 5G, which I am totally fine with. I don't think you need 5G, especially in a tablet right now. The Max is a 10.4 about inch display, 10.36, about a 10.4 basically. 13 megapixel camera, 8,000 milliamp battery, not bad at all. The Max, so the higher version, is going to be at $300. So that's pretty cool. That's the European price, but obviously if it comes to the US, it should be about the same. That is a really interesting price for a tablet, and I'd be very interested to check this one out. I'm really kind of interested to see. Also, the Tab Mid is going to be an 8-inch, which I don't think we've had a good 8-inch tablet for a while now. So I'd be very interested to see how that goes. They expect it in Q4. Really kind of curious to see how it will go. But yeah, very curious in these tablets. I mean, for 300 bucks, it would be really great to see a great mid-range tablet. And I want to see if this pen has functionality or if it's just like a stylus. So that's going to be the biggest difference overall. All right, and the last bit of news we have for today is going to be the dual screen LG Wing. Apparently, this is just the beginning of an entirely new category for LG. They are building out a different engineering team, essentially, and different project team to head this Explorer projects. And these Explorer projects, this is the first one, and they're going to do basically phones like this to push the envelope, to make new things. And I think this is great. I really do think this is a really, really amazing style and design that we'll have to wait and see. But I'm very, very excited for this in terms of just getting new designs. It's a very weird phone. It's a very weird phone. This is one of the ways you can actually use it. But like, this is so weird. This is so incredibly weird that it slides across every which way you can. I don't know. I don't know how I would use it. I'm very curious. Again, my thing has been with this phone forever is if it will be able to go from this to this so that you can actually have it go straight, because that's the biggest thing that I'm so curious about. Can I go like this so it can fit in a pocket? That is the thing that I think is one of the most necessary things that we definitely need to see. All right, guys, that is it for the news. Now let's get to your questions. Hopefully the lag isn't too bad now. It seems to have smoothed out, but let me know how it's going. All right. $109, no AC in LA, got your computer on fire, hope you don't melt. I know, I don't know if that's, because it is really hot in this room. Again, I do not have AC in my house. Been actually staying at another house just that has AC right now, because it's one thing you always have to worry about, is it's one thing for you to be uncomfortable and hot. It's a whole nother thing for a baby to be overheated. Like, that is scary. So it's definitely just something that, like, yeah, this room is very, very hot. I cannot wait to get back to the house that we're staying at, just because it has AC. It's much cooler, but this is unfortunately what it is. So yeah. Hey Ricky, can you recommend a 2-in-1 with LTE? You know, I can't think of any right now, to be honest. I would say, I think Samsung made one with an Intel processor recently. I think it was the Galaxy Tabbook S. Which one was that? I think Samsung made one. It was something like that. Galaxy. It was one that originally came out with the Qualcomm processor, and then I believe it came out with an Intel processor after that. So not sure if that one will be it, but that's what the one I'm thinking of right now. Sorry guys, I know this internet is glitching like crazy. Like I see myself jittering all over my own screen, so I can only imagine how it is watching it. I do apologize for that. Yeah, unfortunately, I just can't look it up. I can't load it. The Tabbook S is one that I'm thinking of, and then another one would possibly be the Galaxy, or sorry, not Galaxy, the an old Surface Book. So a lot of the Surface Books had LTE version available, so one of those would be probably a good one as well to go with. How's the family time? Or was that to me or someone else? Oh yeah, that was to each other. Yeah, apparently both my moderators were having a storm chatting up. Let's see. You know, Ricky, we don't live too far apart. How did you deal with 108 heat today? I was at someone else's house and it was a lot cooler there because they had a really good AC. Like over here, I have to wear shorts. Over there, I have to wear pants. Is the easiest way to kind of say it, because it's like over here it's so freaking hot, and over there it's very cold. So very different kind of settings, but again, it's just so nice for sure. Let's see. How are the fires in California? It's here. It's bad this year. So in terms of the fires, I don't live near any of them. Most of the ones are still in the valley. There was a new one closer to the Riverside area, which is a little close to me, but still, like, you're talking like 20 miles. So nothing too close. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing about fires, besides, you know, the horrible things that happen to anyone that lives near them, that's obviously the worst part of them, is that they do affect the surrounding areas because they create the humidity. So basically, California is normally, especially in LA, very cool. Like, even if it's like, you know, 88 degrees or 90 degrees, it feels like 85 degrees, 84 degrees, 83 degrees, because we have the ocean. But when those fires kick up, the humidity goes straight up, and then it feels much hotter than it even is. So when you have the heat and the fires, it definitely is bad for sure. But yeah, this is the first year, you know, hopefully it won't happen, that we were evacuated the last 3 years. And not always made to evacuate. Like, some we were actually like literally evacuated, like we were told to go. But sometimes it was like it was nearby my daughter's school, so we were like, yeah, we're going. Like, you know, like, it's no reason to stick around in that atmosphere. Fall Guys. Fall Guys was such a big miss for not being like, Fall Guys would be the best game ever if it had a local multiplayer. If Fall Guys added local multiplayer, it would be right up there with Fortnite and everything else. But the fact that it doesn't have it, and the fact that it's not on every console too, like, I mean, heck, it could honestly be on a smartphone. It's not that graphically impressive of a game, but like, I hope they get there, but they need local co-op. Like, my wife saw a preview of that game and she's like, honey, why are we not playing this? This seems like so much fun for us to play together on the Switch. And I was like, at least at the time, I don't know if it's gone on there yet, it's not on the Switch. And like, and we can't play it together because it doesn't have local multiplayer. You know, you're playing with different people, and it's just like, it's something that it hopefully will change, because they have such potential with that. Fall Guys is a new game, hilarious looking, definitely geared towards kids for sure, and very family friendly. So I really like that about it, but I just wish it would be change those two things: local multiplayer and on every console. Yes, there are more fires. Okay, Mike ordered his Fold 2. Michael ordered it as well. So yeah, a lot of people have ordered the Fold 2. Some people say it is a waste of money. You know, I get both sides of that, obviously. I really am interested. My biggest thing about the Fold 2 that I'm worried about is the cameras. I'm very happy with my Note 20 Ultra camera, and I'm downgrading the cameras. That's what really worries me. And I keep telling myself, okay, but then I'm gonna get a Pixel 5, so that'll take my place with my camera. So if I want to take a photo, I'll have my Pixel 5. If I want a phone for everything else, I'll have my Fold 2. And then I have this really nice looking phone that I'm going to show you guys soon. Huge upgrade. Sometimes an S isn't good, or not a big upgrade. An S can be a very big upgrade if you fix software issues. Yes, Android's... Okay, so someone said, yes, but Android updates include security and vulnerability problems. Yes, they do. But you know what is also included in security updates and vulnerability problems? Security updates. Like, your phone gets security updates at least a couple of times a year. That is without the OS update. So yeah, that's what's more important. The OS update is important, but the security updates really are. Do you think Google should help HTC, and HTC a really big part of the early Android history? I do think that Google should. I mean, they have the ability to. They definitely have the money to, and HTC, no offense, is not worth that much anymore. So, I mean, I could easily see HTC being bought out, for sure. I think it will be within the next year. The best thing that HTC has going for it is still the Vives, and I think at least this past year, Oculus really kind of surpassed them in terms of the Rift S and everything else with that. I think that was the main kind of point, that the Vives made a step back, or not a step back, but it didn't get as much attention this year. Hope there are some Fold 2 cases by launch. Other than Samsung, can't find any yet that are available now. Neither can I, but I will tell you the UAG one looks nice. The UAG one looks nice, so I'm very hoping for that one. Did you get the email from Samsung about certain Samsung Cloud features ending? I don't think so. I'll check back, but nothing that I can remember from Samsung about their cloud service, no. You should try Texas humidity. I've been to Texas. I know the humidity there. It's rough. Including, I think the worst actually I've been to was Arizona humidity. That was so bad. Like, we were there for like a work conference thing. We did not leave that hotel because it was ungodly bad outside with that. So for the humidity, you know, I've been to... certain parts of Florida were surprisingly bad because Florida would have rain and humidity, which just sucks. Texas, I've been to Dallas and Houston. So yes, I do know Dallas humidity probably the most. But yeah, that's for sure. You can use a fan and hang some freezer bags for ice cubes. Tie them together with a bit of string and in front of the fan, replace fairly quickly. Should be able to get a couple of hours. Interesting concept. have about 4 bags so you can just recycle the freezer. Interesting. I totally have one that I could put that on too. That's a really cool concept, man. It's very MacGyver-esque and it's very creative. That's awesome. Looking for a good 500-ish smaller phone. What are your thoughts on the S10e? The S10e I think is still a really good buy, and it has a lot of the features for sure. You can definitely get it around 500. Of course, I'm going to tell you to consider the best one for under 500 right now, which is easily the Pixel 4a. It is the top selling smartphone on Amazon right now, unlocked phone. So yeah, that one has to be considered too. In terms of comparing them, the S10e has the versatility of a wide-angle camera, whereas the Pixel 4a only has a regular camera. Processors, the 10e would be a faster processor. Battery life, the Pixel 4 would have a better battery life. The Pixel 4 does have the better overall camera by far. So yeah, those are a little bit of them. Sorry, my questions are frozen. Just waiting for them to load. Okay. Why can't you buy an AC and put it in the window, or buy a portable one with 2 pipes? Because we're just going to get a whole AC system. At the end of the day, that's it makes more sense, as I am a homeowner. So it just makes more sense to replace the AC system. Right now, we were considering just replacing the condenser first and then replacing the AC, the whole HVAC system later. But we've gotten some pretty good bids. The thing I said last week is we actually did an application through Edison that they actually have a certain thing right now for certain families that you can actually apply for to get a huge discount on your AC system. So that's what we're waiting on right now. So yeah. Is anything good or bad known about MediaTek 1000C that is in the T-Mobile Velvet? Will have, and does it? And does other smartphones have it? I can't think of any other smartphone that has that one. That is their highest end one apparently. But we'll have to wait and see how good it is. That's the biggest thing. Is that when it comes to MediaTek processors, they are used on lower tier. Again, it's usually $500 and under phones, so it's nothing as big as the Velvet isn't a flagship. It's really a mid-ranger, but we haven't had one in this kind of price range that has had it. So very curious to see how it goes. The best processor I've tested on a MediaTek was the GT90, and that was in a $300 smartphone, I want to say. It was in like the Note Pro from Redmi. So yeah, so that was the best one I've tested. Had no issues with the processor, just the software was so bad. So I'm very curious to see how MediaTek reacts with a consumer this big. But yeah, MediaTek is basically, what is MediaTek? MediaTek is a processor maker. They are an alternative to Qualcomm. Obviously, Qualcomm is the biggest processor maker in Android, followed by Samsung, which makes all the Exynos processors, and then HiSilicon, which is from Huawei, and then you have MediaTek, which Exynos and HiSilicon do kind of go mid-range as well. They do have their high-end alternatives, just like the international versions of the Note and the S series get Exynos processors, but Exynos processors do go all the way down to the A01, A21, all those entry-level Samsung phones typically have an Exynos processor, so that's some of it. We are not just mods, we are, yeah, we are. No problem for the chatting, it's fine. You can use, oh, I read that one already. Looking for a good, oh yeah, answer that one. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. I found out AT&T are only selling the Tab S7, not the Plus. I wonder why. They probably wanted a cheaper alternative and didn't think anyone would buy a Tab S7 Plus at the price they would charge for it. They would probably charge $1,000 for it. And probably they have like a laptop with LTE or a laptop with 5G that they feel that would be a better seller. Hi Ricky, can you recommend a fast charging cable that also transfers data, which is both usual micro USB and USB-C? Yes, let me see if I can pull it up because that's the main issue right now. But I think it was the Nomad that I used, but I've used a couple. Let me just see. I want to say it was the Nomad that I used. And this one is a micro Type-C and Lightning. And they have a couple of different versions of this, so go ahead and check out a couple of different ones. But this does fast charge, and it's really good because obviously it kind of covers all three bases. While this loads, I'll see if I can answer another question. Hey Ricky, is the Fold 2 worth it? Thanks. Is the Fold 2 worth it? Probably not. And the reason why I say that is the Fold 2 is a device that is not meant for most people. It is strictly a flashy, next-gen device that most people do not need. They do not need the capability of it. They can better off buy a phone and a tablet, usually for the same price. So for most people, no. I would say definitely most people do not need the Fold 2. Sorry guys, it's not letting me. It's moving so slow. There, I just put the link for it in the chat for the cable that's fast charging with USB-C and micro and Lightning. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh, the Fold 2. So it's not worth it for most people. No, I would say it's probably not worth it for most people. I wouldn't recommend most people buy it. It really is a niche phone that is for people that want to have the first of its kind, that want to have the first kind of stuff, that want to be first to market. And that's really it. But no, I would say it's worth it for most people. No. Will I probably fall in love with it? Absolutely. You can also try a bucket of ice and salt, which cools even more in front of the fan. Interesting. All these concepts I never thought of, like putting colder stuff in front of a fan, so that it makes all sense. My nephew is turning 8, wants to buy a phone to play Fortnite. Is that too young? And shall I get him one? It keeps using my phone. Explain how you did this with your children. So a couple of things. So my daughter is 9 going on 10. I am a little bit, I would say, strict when it comes to, hopefully I didn't just freeze. Sorry, it just kind of completely froze. So I'm a little bit strict when it comes to what my daughter is allowed to play, for sure. So she does not have any online games that she can play on her phone that have her interact with other people. The biggest one that she did have where she was online with other people was Adventure Academy, and that is a learning thing from the company that does ABC Mouse. Really recommend that. She just beat it so quickly. Like she leveled up basically and leveled out to the point where she was done with the game. So, but that is the biggest thing when it comes to it. At the same time, I got her a Moto phone first, which was around like $150. Then I got her a phone that was then what did I get her? I got her the Ace. Oh no, so I got her Asus phone first, then I got her that one. So those were the two phones I started her off with. She now has an amazing phone, which is the best phone from LG last year, so the LG G8. Or sorry, not the best one, but the best one in the beginning. So that one was kind of everything she needed right when it came to it. So she was very happy with that, okay? And the reason why I got her that phone was because it had wireless charging. And it was a phone that was given to me for free to review and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't pay anything for it. So it was either kind of sell it and make some money on it, or just use it for her. And you know, she's very happy with that. She takes a lot more photos now. She takes a lot more videos now of like her and our son, or her and my wife, or all that kind of stuff. So I will say the better camera has encouraged her to use it more. But that is the big things when it comes to it. Overall, I would say when it comes to with kids, I don't like them playing online stuff, and I don't know. Maybe now that she's turning 10, I might change a little bit, be a little bit more open to it. But definitely beforehand, I did not like it at all. So that was kind of my stance on it. Now, if you were to get them a phone for Fortnite, there's this really good one that is like highly recommended for specifically for an entry-level phone for kids for Fortnite. It's just coming out. It's called the blue G90 Pro. I'm just putting it in the chat right now. It's a purple phone even to highlight Fortnite. It has a lot of Fortnite in their campaigning stuff. It's $220. So this is a very affordable phone. It has a good amount of RAM. It has a really good amount of storage for the price. So this would be a great phone to get for Fortnite if you do want to let them play. But yeah, I mean, that is my feelings on it, but it's obviously different for everyone. All right. Ricky, I have a 12,000 BTC AC window unit. Wow, that's a really strong one. Wow, that's awesome. I guess hit me up after, Roland. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I just want to continue with your guys' questions because I know we see some last ones. Sometimes frozen water bottles hang in front of a fan. I keep 8 bottles. Man, you guys have all these interesting ways of doing it. Whoa, we got a super chat. Thank you so much, Fillmore James. No smart things on GS3 after the upgrade to the Note. After I upgraded to my Note 20 Ultra. That's really weird. Did you try to re-download the app, or you can even sideload it on a watch app as well? But yeah, I don't know why that would be. That's really weird, man. I'll look into it more and see if I can find anything out before next week. Or maybe email me, Fillmore, and I'll try to look into it a little bit. Let's see. I sometimes, how do you personally back up all the data on your phone? Can you go through them one by one? Text messages, apps, audio files, all that stuff. Okay, so first of all, I use Google's regular one, right? So Google has a standard backup stuff which backs up, out of those things you said, it does back up some app data, not all of it. It backs up all your calls, your text messages, your phone settings, your contacts. All that stuff is backed up through Google. For my daily driver, I typically do use at least one Samsung for the two phones that I'm using. Samsung Smart Switch is the best file transfer you can get out of all smartphones. Samsung Smart Switch is better than iOS's version in terms of transferring from an iPhone from another device. If you're transferring from any device to a Samsung Smart Switch is the best. So, and it transfers everything. So what I mean by that is it transfers everything you said. Text messages, apps, audio files, call logs, calendar, contacts, phone settings, photos, videos. All that is transferred through Samsung Smart Switch. If you're actually even transferring from a Samsung to Samsung, it actually copies over your desktop as well. So basically your home screens are all copied. So that's really cool. So yeah, that's the biggest things I would recommend when kind of doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that's how I do it. Samsung Smart Switch backs up everything. In terms of when I buy a new phone, I use Samsung Smart Switch and it transfers over everything. How you do it phone by phone though, it does vary on what you have. So I used to use T-Mobile content transfer. I thought that was a very good one. That transferred over all my phone calls, text messages, apps, and other things. So that was kind of what I used for there as well. So yeah, it just depends on what you're using and what you're transferring to. Samsung Smart Switch though is the biggest thing I would recommend for that. For photos and videos though, I use Google Photos. So Google Photos allows you to back up unlimited amount of photos in high quality. What does high quality mean? 16 megapixel camera images. So 16 megapixel is the highest it will go. So if you have a higher res camera, it will default it to 16 and it will make all 4K or 8K videos into 1080p videos. So that is how I back up all of my photos is through Google Photos. Let's see. I'm trying to get a GCam for the Note 20 Ultra, no luck. Video? I found one on, where's this website? Celso. I do not know how to pronounce this, but it was one of the main sites with Google camera ports, and the one that is working for it is, which one was it? Let me just share this, and hopefully I'll be able to share it with you. It was one of the top 4 new ones that works just fine, but like, yeah, the other 3 don't work, so. All right. I think I guess I'll go with the T-Mobile route for the Tab S7. Yeah, it's a good way to go. I could be wrong, but I don't think you put out a GCam that works for the Note 20 Ultra. I got one that works. It's not made for it, mind you. So I will say that it takes a little bit of a darker photo, so I have to turn the EV a little bit up. But the dynamic range is there, and it has the new Google Auto White Balance, which is very nice looking, I will say. All right. Is that charging cable better than the Tilt charging cable? I don't know if Tilt had quick charge, but I did use the Tilt one before that. But yeah, I don't know if Tilt had quick charge. It's been a long time since I used the Tilt charging cable. I remember it. It was like rubbery, but I don't remember that one. I think it's a nicer quality, I will say, but it's expensive. It's a little more expensive. I think it's like what, $38 or something like that. Have you ever heard of a new gaming phone, Legion? The Legion as in the Lenovo one? Yeah, I've heard of it. Didn't really look into it that much, to be quite honest, but yeah, it was the one that we showed it off on one of the videos here. It was basically, it had a camera in the middle that it did a pop-up. Let's see. Oh, speaking of exercise, I had a really good exercise experience today. Like, that we got the Nintendo Switch Ring. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's an awesome workout. It's an awesome workout. Basically, me, my wife, and my daughter all did 3 levels, and we were all like, whew. Whew, like you definitely want to use water. My wife was in the best shape of all of us, so she killed it. My daughter was talking a whole bunch of mess, so she was getting towards the 2nd and 3rd level, and she was like, a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely an endurance thing, and you don't recognize how much you run like till like it's over. So great thing I recommend if you want to do some exercise. I'm gonna try to be doing it a couple times a week. The Ring, or the Nintendo Switch Ring. I think it's called Ring Fit or something like that. But it's a game and a special device that you use, and it's a good workout. It's really a good workout. And I've seen like WWE superstars that are cut, shredded, and all that kind of stuff struggle with it. So it's for definitely all ranges for fitness. And yeah, my wife liked it a lot, and yeah, it's really good for sure. Hey, 51st date questions. Yeah, if you guys can download our app. This is an app that I made called 51st Date Questions. We'll see if the video will actually load because my computer's having so many issues. So yeah, but 51st Date Questions is the game that I created a little while back. It basically has you ask questions while you're on a date or with your significant other, whichever makes it easier for you. It's a really fun game to play, and it's just something that I think a lot of people would enjoy if they tried it out. So go ahead and try it out if you get the chance. All right. Do you recommend any repair tools for Android, and are they good or not? I don't really recommend repair tools, I guess, per se, that I can think of. I recommend using VPNs. That's probably the one thing I would recommend, but that's about it. Yeah, if you get a Switch, they are sold out periodically. They go back in stock about every 2 to 3 weeks, but they are sold out. Nintendo can't make that many Switches right now because of the current atmosphere over there. So they definitely have issues making them for sure. All right, guys, we will call that a night. Definitely sorry about all the issues. My computer literally has stayed at 100% with the CPU during this entire time. I swear, my computer runs perfectly when it doesn't have anything connected to it, but as soon as I connect monitors to it and power and all that kind of stuff, it overdrives. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully you continue to see all the cool videos. We have more and more cool videos coming out over the next few weeks, so hopefully we'll like them. Thank you guys always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.